WTF Day? Cheesecake Day, National Cheesecake Day, and we have no cheesecake because I already did it for WGN, and my mother has been eating that cheesecake, and Neil took a cheesecake to work because I had to do 2 cheesecakes that day, if you notice. When we filmed it, it's only 5 minutes, and we're going to show it to you. But as most of you know, I did the pastry for a lot of television shows, and I had a guy come in and he said we need a wedding cake and for a pilot for these 4 old ladies. And I thought, all right, so I do this wedding cake. And about a year later, I get a call back from the guy and he says, we need that wedding cake again. I said, what wedding cake? Because I'd done some other things for different shows. And so he gave me a few pictures of what the wedding cake looked like, which I've posted before a couple times. So the pilot of Golden Girls had Blanche getting married, and this first episode, she was jilted at the altar, which the altar was at their house in Miami Beach, which just recently went on the market, and it's in Brentwood, California. In fact, it was about 4 blocks from OJ's house, just letting you know, little Hollywood gossip. So, and they only did exterior shots, they never went inside that house. So what happened was I did the wedding cake, and then they started doing all sorts of different foods, and they came up with cheesecake. That was the easiest thing for me to do. 7 I would make for Friday night because I was in my 20s and I wasn't sticking around, and in case they had a mess up or something like that, they said they needed 7. So I would do 7, and then I realized that 7 fed the whole cast and crew at the end of the night, and that's what happened. So we're going to show you the 5-minute segment from WGN Chicago, and then you know what? I think I'll show you a second show for another 5 minutes that was WGN that was about fair foods, and so you get both of them tonight. But today is National Cheesecake Day. Have a piece of cheesecake. Take care, and we'll see you tomorrow. And thanks so much. Tomorrow's Friday. Bye-bye. Hi, I'm George Geary, and July 30th is National Cheesecake Day. And who knows more about cheesecake than myself? George. I've done about 3-4 cheesecake books, and the latest one is the Cheesecake Bible 2nd edition. When you think of cheesecake, what TV show do you think of? The Golden Girls. Back in the 1980s, I worked on the Golden Girls show, and I made 7 cheesecakes for every Friday night taping. And here is one of the original sizes of cheesecakes that we would do for Friday night. And the reason why we did 7 cheesecakes is because I wasn't sticking around the studio. I'd go off into Hollywood because I was in my 20s, who wanted to be with a bunch of old ladies. And now I'm their age, which is crazy. And so I had to do enough cheesecakes in case they made a mistake. So I have done over 73,000 cheesecakes per year when I was the pastry chef for the Walt Disney Company. And that's a lot of cheesecake. So I know how to make a cheesecake, and I want you to be able to make the Golden Girl cheesecake, and it is in my book. Simple. Cheesecakes are cheese of some sort, mostly cream cheese, but cheese, sweetened, leavened with eggs, and flavored. That's it. And here we have our Golden Girl cheesecake, I call it, with our cream cheese filling as the cheese, and then we also have a sour cream topping. So let's make it real quick. Everything room temperature, that's a key. And you can do this by hand if you want. So cream cheese and everything room temperature, like I said, and I stress that over and over about cheesecakes. A lot of people get cracks down the cheesecake, and I don't use a water bath. If you read the whole front chapter of the book, you'll learn about how to make a cheesecake correctly. Sugar, our sweetener, and we're gonna blend that up a little faster now. So the sugar goes in. Sometimes use a different sweetener, like brown sugar, honey, something like that. Our flavor is vanilla and a little bit of lemon juice. Then you're going to put every egg in one at a time. It seems like a hassle to do one egg at a time, but this is creating the body and the texture of our cheesecake, and it will keep it from cracking. And the eggs have to be room temperature. And after each one, then about second to the last one, that's when I turn the mixer off, scrape the sides, and keep going to clean it up. So sometimes the edge gets filled with chunks of cream cheese, and then it only goes into a temperature oven of 350. The other reason why I wrote cheesecake books is all these crazy recipes of putting it into the oven for so long, or keeping the oven door open, or overnight keeping the cheesecake in, which was always crazy to me. So as soon as that is all blended up, you're going to put it into your crust. And you can notice the crust is not on the edges, it's just on the bottom. Because here's our finished cheesecake, and if I have crust on the side too, you get this big thickness, and you can't get a fork in there. So, and people left that on their plate, so I would see that. So that's all you need. After you do this, put it in the oven. Okay, the cheesecake's done, and you can see it has a little jiggle to it, and we let it sit for about 10 minutes, and then we put the topping on and put it back in the oven for 5. Then it's done. Came out of the oven, and we've got the sour cream topping going on top. And all it is sour cream, granulated sugar, and a little bit of vanilla, and you can throw some lemon in there if you want. Whisk that until it's nice and smooth. And when I put this on, I do it in the dead center, and I smooth it to the edges, but I don't go all the way to the edge. I keep about a ½ an inch around. And then I place this back in the oven for 5 minutes. And see. Now, Golden Girls, we would do the cheesecakes different every year. This was the first season. Look at that perfect piece of cheesecake right there. So make sure you have a nice slice of cheesecake, and thank you for being a friend. Take care. Have a good one. And my name is George Gary.
Thank you for being a friend. Travel down the road and back again. Your heart is true. You're a pal and a confidant. And if you threw a party, invited everyone you knew, you would see the biggest gift would be from me, and the card attached would say thank you for being a friend.
I'd like to talk about fair foods. My name's George Gary, and my Fair Foods book is out. And I am so sad and upset because we don't have any fairs going on this year. And I was part of the Los Angeles County Fair for 28 seasons. So I'm going to teach you how to make your favorite 2 fair fried foods. Try to say that fast 5 times. Anyway, we're going to do Oreos and Snicker bars, and they're very simple to do. It's ingredients that you probably have. The hardest part is really the oil and making sure it's at the temperature you need it. And the recipe tells you how to do it. And make sure you have a thermometer and it works well. The other thing of tip is frozen product going into the batter. So I take a skewer and I take Oreo, double stuff, and they're so good and oozing chocolate after they're fried. While it's raw, not raw, but while it's like this, you're gonna freeze this. After it's frozen, here's our Snicker bar that's frozen. We're going to use it frozen to work with it. Before that, we're gonna take our dry ingredients, which is sugar, flour, baking soda, baking powder, and salt. Blend that together. And then our mixture of liquid, which is just butter melted, eggs, milk, and buttermilk, all blended together. We blend those separately, then we add it together, and we blend it up till it's almost like pancake batter. And then when you have the pancake batter, you put it into a jar or a nice glass, you know, so it'd be nice, but something like that, so you can dip the whole thing in and bring it out. I dip it twice just to make sure I don't see any chocolate. And then we fry it. And it just takes hardly any time at all to get it all fried up till it turns, and I'm twirling it while I do this so it stays nice. And when you bite into the caramel and the peanuts and the chocolate melts, if your oil is too hot, it will just fry crazily and the batter won't stick, like almost like a corn dog. So you want to see how nice golden it's getting, just like that. And you want to use the fun size bars. The big ones are too big, and those little midget ones you have to eat 10 to equal one of these, so it's not worth it. Then you go like this, and here we've got our Oreos. Same thing, exactly the same stuff. And I put a little bit of powdered sugar on, and if it's not sweet enough, a little chocolate sauce. And there we have both of our desserts from the fair. You can make them at home, easy, without any trouble, and you didn't have to pay to get into the fair. But stay safe, and we take care, and have a good one.